Hi guys, Scratch Cat Ball here, and today I am going to be teaching you guys how to make uh, an add-on for the Minecraft mod called Star Maker. Well, I mean not Star Maker. I meant Galacticraft. Sorry, but um, so um, so you'll need a few other mods in addition to the one called Galacticraft Legacy. That is what the Galacticraft mod is called. And some people might not know that, so right off the bat, if you want to play like with space, you want Galacticraft Legacy, and then um, and then you'll also want a um, and then Minecraft is gonna have to be 1.12.2, and the mod loader you're gonna use is Forge. Um, and then you'll also need a couple other mods like Asmodeus Core. That's ASMODEUSCORE. That's a bit hard to spell, so there you go. You'll also need Mixin Booter, MIXINBOOTER, and then you'll also need Star Maker, STARMAKER. And then also, if you're working with lots of planets, you'll need the Dalek mod, which I'm on mod Rinth, and for some reason they have that, but they didn't upload the version for 1.12.2, so you're going to want to go over to CurseForge, look up Dalek, scroll down a little bit, here it is, Dalek Mod Forge. Dalek is spelled DALEK, and then you're going to want to go to the files, click the drop down that says all game versions, filter for 1.12.2, and for all mod loaders you're gonna want to click that and click on Forge, and then download the most recent version, and then it will, and then you can just click Open Folder, and then go to your mods folder, and then paste it in from your downloads folder, and then it will work. Uh, Sometimes mod rinse won't have a mod, but you can just like copy it and paste it in, and it'll still work. Uh, and then you need the Dalek mod because Star Maker mod tends to crash, and one of the reasons that it crashes is because you have too many planets. But a way to get around that is with the Dalek mod, with the TARDIS in that mod. So, once you got all those mods, you're gonna want to go into your resource packs folder, and you get there by opening the mod folder, and then you're gonna want to make a new folder. Call it. So first up, you're gonna want to put whatever you want to call it, and then underscore celestial pack. So that is underscore CELESTIALPACK. And then you're going to want to go into that folder. You're going to want to put all lowercase a folder called assets in the resource pack folder. That's ASSETS. And then in the assets folder, you're going to want a star sources folder. That's STARSOURCES. And then in the star sources folder, you're going to want a few folders. The first one is called biomes. That's BIOMES. The second one is called bodies. BODIES. The third one is called lang. That is LANG. The fourth one is called structures. That is STRUCTURES. And um and the last one is called textures. That is TEXTURES. So So I don't really know how to make a structure, but I will be teaching you how to make literally everything else on here. But first, you're going to want to go into the textures folder, and that one has a few more folders. So the first one is called GUI. That's pretty self-explanatory for the spelling. In the GUI folder, you're going to want another folder called Celestial Bodies. That is CELESTIALBODIES. And then in the Celestial Bodies folder, you're going to want a folder with the file names of all of your systems, star systems. You don't really need to know that for right now. I mean, well, I'll be explaining it later, but um, and then apparently you can also update the uh, the default solar system in the mod. So so um, so I already made the rest of the planets, but I'll be teaching you how to make Pluto in this mod. So first up, you want a texture uh, for the um, for the planet that you want to make. This one is Pluto. You're going to want to save it with the file name you're planning on using in the system folder. And then I'll also be teaching you how to make a moon. So the one that I'll be teaching you how to make is Sharon. So for the moon, you'll also want a moons folder in the system textures folder that is MOONS. And then here is the Sharon texture that I will be using. Um, and then you can just go ahead and make all your textures for all the planets and all the moons in that system. But next up, you're going to want to go to the bodies folder. Actually, no, not yet. First up, you're going to want to, next up, you're going to want to go to the bodies folder. Not bodies, biomes folder. Um, and then and then this is actually a really important step because if you don't have a biomes folder, if you go to the planet or just or like any biome saved, if you go to the planet or moon or whatever, uh, if your if your code for the planet or moon doesn't have a biome in here, your game will crash. So, um, so what I suggest doing for your biomes is um, is um, is having a um, is having a file for um, all of your like blocks for the planets. So, for example, I'll actually walk you through it, how to make one. So, first up, you're gonna wanna make a. So first up, you're gonna wanna make. So right click in your folder, your biomes folder, and then hover over new. Then you're gonna wanna go to text document. I'll call this one brown underscore terracotta, and then you gotta have your file type thing visible for this. But you're gonna want to delete txt and replace it with JSON. This is gonna pop up. You're gonna want to click yes because there's nothing in there in the first place, and then I have all the code that you'll need in the description because I don't know how to type it myself. I just copy and paste it from the Discord server. But you're gonna want to paste it from the description or from the Discord server, which is It's called V Told's Dev Channel. Um, and then it's in Star Maker Guides. And then it's in Create New Biome. So here's the code that I got. Um, but I'll also put it in the description if you don't want to go to Discord, which you probably don't. But anyway, you're gonna want next you're gonna want to go to Minecraft.wiki, and then um, you're gonna want to search for Java Edition pre-flattening data values, and then go to this page. Click on the block IDs. Um, so, and then you're gonna click on these three dots to find and edit the thing. So you want, so, for example, you want terracotta. And then you're gonna want to click on this down arrow, and okay. So, so the one that I want is called stained hardened clay, but you might want something else. So surface block stained. So first you're gonna want Minecraft. I think that's a colon stained or whatever block ID you want. This one I got this one right here. Stained hardened clay. And then this one you need. And then for this one you'll need the color value. So just and then terracotta. Here it is. So this one is brown terracotta. That is number 12. So I'm gonna want to put. So only do this if your block that you're using has colors or variants. Uh, just do it if it has variants, but don't always do this. But you're gonna want to put another colon after the ID, and then you're gonna want to look for the variant that you want. I want brown terracotta, so that is 12. But if you're doing something like stone or a grass block, you don't want to put this colon right here. And then the subsurface block, you're gonna want to do the same thing, but but it's Pluto here. So I'll just do the same block because I don't because I'd imagine the stone would be the same color as the ground because it's Pluto, but I'm not sure about that. So anyway, um, and then um, you can also add ores. So iron ore and stone is the one that I have here, but you probably won't see that there. You can also add grass. So grass block. Uh, so that looks like it's the flowers and the grass, and I don't know what the grass count of grass and chunk. Uh, I'd imagine that's the short grass or tall grass or something on water. Generate on water block. Need set ground block Minecraft water. So and then you can also add mods. I mean, obviously you can add mods, but mobs. I mean, um, so so you so so entity Minecraft, and then do the um entity IDs. So let's say that you want a pig in your biome. Yeah, I'm fine. So that is lowercase pig, but make sure you put it after Minecraft colon. Um, and then the weight. That's basically how it's basically how often your mob appears, and make sure this is an integer that is whole numbers, no decimals, no fractions. Minimum count, that is the minimum number of times or minimum number of entities in one group. It looks like they went with 3 here. So that is also an integer. And max count, that's basically minimum count or min count, but um, but with um, but with the highest number. And then there's also monsters, same thing as creatures, then water creature, the water creatures, but same thing as monsters. NBT structures, I don't really know how this works, so I won't be putting it in the description, but you can try to figure it out on the Discord server. And then this one looks like the example. So I already went over everything. Um, and then this is Pluto, so it has 2 colors. So I'll be making another biome. This time it is what uh um I think light gray would be best here. So I'll be putting this as light underscore gray underscore terracotta because that's what I know the block as, so that's what I'll be calling it. So light gray is 8. So replace these with 8. Um, and then that should be good for the biomes. Next up, you want to go into the bodies folder. This is finally planets and moons. So you're gonna want 4 folders. The first one is systems. That's SYSTEMS. The next one is planets. That is PLANETS. The next one is moons. That one is MOONS. The next one is asteroids. I don't really know how the asteroids work in this case, but that is ASTEROIDS. But again, if you want to try to figure it out on your own, there is a asteroids belt here. Um, but we'll just be making. Well, you know what? If you're using this mod, you might want to make your own. You probably want your own like exoplanets or something. So in the systems folder, I'll just go over what this one, how the systems thing works. You're gonna want to make another JSON file in the same way that you made the biome file. So galaxy, that is the parent galaxy. I don't really know what this does, but but it says parent galaxy. Pose X, that is the X position on the galaxy map. For this one, I like to do the distance to the Earth in light years. This one can be an integer or it can be a decimal. No fractions here. Pose Y, that is the Y position, so that is up and down. Uh, I prefer to have this one as 0, so it's easier for the players to like gauge distances here. But uh, but this one is the same thing as the X basically, in like how it works. You can have integers or decimals, but no fractions. And then pose X is horizontal. Uh, and then stars. That's the list of stars in the system. You need at least 1 star. So the name is pretty self-explanatory. It's the name of the star. But I'd suggest to have it in all lowercase with underscores if you want a space. But uh, yeah, star size. This can be a decimal, It can be an integer. What I like to do here is the radius of the star in suns. So this one is WASP 12 star. It is 1.69 suns. Star type. This one is the type of the stars. This one can only be an integer. No decimals, no fractions. So this one, and then it is numbers 0 to 6. If this number is 0, it is a subdwarf, and imagine that is a brown dwarf. Number 1 is dwarf, that is a main sequence star, like the Sun, or Proxima Centauri, or Sirius. Number 2 is subgiant. It's pretty self-explanatory. I'm not sure about this, but it might be like Rigel or Vega. Number 3 is a giant. That is a giant star. Again, pretty self-explanatory. Is I'm pretty sure Betelgeuse is an example. Supergiant. Uh, that is again pretty self-explanatory. That is I'm pretty sure VY Canis Majoris is an example of a supergiant. Number 5 is the hypergiant. Once again, pretty self-explanatory. That one, I don't think we have a well-known example, but I do know that we know of a like really big, really big, I think the solar system can fit in it or something. And it's really far away. It's like billions of light years away. That's the best example I could think of for that. And number 6, a black hole. That one is um, that one is again pretty self-explanatory. Some well-known examples are Sagittarius A star and Ton 618. The color of the star. I think that we've only done dwarfs, but I'd imagine that only subdwarfs, dwarfs, subgiants, giants, supergiants, and hypergiants can have a color. But just in case the black holes can too, I would not get rid of this if you want to make a black hole. But if your game crashes when it's loading, just get rid of it. So this can be, again, numbers 0 through 6. So this time, um, the, um, the, the numbers correspond to the colors of stars. So 0 is a brown dwarf, 1 is red, 2 is orange, 3 is yellow, 4 is white, 5 is light blue, and 6 is blue. A habitable zone. So this first number here is the inner distance. In AU, I think. So for WASP 12, that is 1.45 AU as the inner distance. And then 3.38 as the outer distance. That is the second number. And then next up, we have a planet. So for this one, I will be editing it. So for this one, I'll just be using Mercury as a template because it's pretty similar to Mercury. So this one is important. This step is pretty important. You're gonna want to name the JSON file the same name as your texture file. That is so mine is Pluto because it is Pluto. And then a parent system. Use the file name of the parent star. So, or system in this case. If you want to make a mod of the solar system, that is Sol, S-O-L. Phase, I don't really know exactly how this works, so I'll just skip over it, but you can try to figure it out if you want. The code's in the description. Size, that is the radius of the planet. I prefer to use sun radii for this. just because it's consistent, but you can use whatever you want for this. So I have so just look up Earth radii to solar radii, or Jupiter radii to solar radii. For this one, uh, Wikipedia gave it to me in Earths. So so paste it in the Earth radius or Jupiter radius or kilometer thing or whatever. Copy the results in the solar radius or whatever you're using here and paste it in the size. This could be an integer or a decimal. No fractions. Distance from center. That is the distance or the semi-major axis in AU or astronomical units. So you're gonna want to paste that. I got this from the Wikipedia semi-major axis thing for Pluto. Relative time. That's basically, well, okay. So distance from center is how far your planet is from its star. Relative time. That's how long it takes to go around your star. I prefer to do the orbital period in days for this. So you can have decimals here, just don't put a comma. So that is integers or decimals, no fractions. Okay. Eccentricity x. That's basically how wide your orbit is. For this one, I just do the eccentricity, but I add 1 to the eccentricity value. So for Pluto, that would be 0.2488 plus 1, that is 1.2488. For eccentricity y, I prefer to just have that at 1.0. I'm pretty sure this can be a decimal or an integer, but just put it as a decimal, just make sure. So whole numbers, for example, 1 becomes 1.0. Gravity. So I don't know how to do the equation for this one, but I have a calculator for this. So just search gravity calculator, mass and radius. I prefer to use Wolfram Alpha for this. It gives me the surface gravity, but I'll do it here just in case uh, you don't know that or doesn't give it. So Wikipedia usually gives it in kilometers, and then so that's the radius, the radian in the radius field. So 1,188.3 kilometers. Kilometers becomes km. Miles becomes mi. Mass. So copy that, paste it, and copy this. Um, Paste it in there. Then hit compute. Hopefully I did this right. Yeah, I did. So that is 61.56 centimeters per second squared. So 61.56 centimeters per second squared. 61.56 centimeters per second squared. So once you got the surface gravity, uh, just look it up on Google because I don't know how to do the math for this. So look this up. Assuming 0.058, that is the Earth's gravity, or Earth-like gravity in this case, is Earth's gravity, and 0.08 is zero gravity, that is the gravity in space. What would the surface gravity of the planet be? So in this case, 61.56 centimeters per second squared be. And then you're gonna search that. 0.0786. So gonna want to put that in here. Usually for stuff I don't know how to do, I just have Google's AI do it for me. Atmosphere pressure, that is the pressure in Earth's atmospheres. Pluto does not have an atmosphere, but for example, let's say we want to do Venus, that is 93 in this field. Uh, I I think this one can only be integers, so no decimals, no fractions. I mean, you can try a decimal, but it might crash your game, like on loading, so I wouldn't do that. Uh, and then temperature, that is the mean temperature. So for Pluto, that is negative 229 Celsius. So that is it in hundreds, so negative 2.29. This can be an integer or it can be a decimal. Temperature change modifier during the day. So that's basically the number it multiplies it by during the day. So so if it's less than one, that is like decimals, like 0.5, for example. Uh, it would like change it by 50%. 1%. I mean 1.0. It would change it by 100%, and 2.0 it would change it by 2 times the regular temperature. Next up, wind. I don't know what this does, but uh, but I have it at 1 for Earth atmospheres, or actually not 1, 0.5 for Earth atmospheres, zero point 0.1 for Venus-like atmospheres, because I don't really think you would feel very much wind because it's so freaking hot there. And for no atmospheres like Mercury or the Moon, I have it at zero point 0.0 because those places do not have moon. I mean, not moons, wind. Sorry. Day length, that is the length in ticks. So, so 20 ticks is equal to 1 second. So, or in this case, 24,000 ticks is the overworld daytime, or day length. For this one, I like the sidereal rotation period in days. So open your calculator, multiply the rotation period in days by 24,000. Uh, this cannot be a decimal. It can only be an integer. So no decimals, no fractions. Um, and then you're gonna want to paste that and get rid of the comma if there's a comma, and there most likely will be a comma. Breathable, that is if you can breathe without helmet. Solar radiation, I don't know what this does, but if it doesn't have an atmosphere, I set this to true. But breathable, I like to set this to true if it's atmosphere, if it has an atmosphere, duh. But if its atmosphere is around 25% oxygen, that is what we need to breathe. If it's much more, you'll die of oxygen poisoning. If it's much less, you'll die from lack of oxygen. So, uh, yeah, corrosive atmosphere, that's for Venus-like atmospheres. So if it's Earth-like, or if it doesn't have an atmosphere, set this to false, but if it has a Venus-like atmosphere, set it to true. Sun brightness. So that is how bright the sun looks from the from the star, or from the planet actually. So you're gonna want to copy the semi-major axis. So and then look this up. So if a planet has a semi-major axis of the distance in AU, and its star has a radius of its star's radius in suns and a luminosity of its luminosity in suns, then how bright would the planet be assuming the Earth is 0.5. I don't know that the Earth is exactly zero point 0.5, but that was the default value in here. So that's what we're rolling with. And for Pluto, it is 0.0032. So 0.123 and um, then it doesn't really have an atmosphere, so I just set it to, how about one less? It's really far from the sun, and it'll be about the same. Sky, that is the red, green, blue value. The first number is the red, the second one is green, and the third one is blue. So that one is the color of the sky. If it doesn't have a sky, like you set it to 0, 0, 0. Fog, I don't know what this does, but if it's missing, it'll crash your game, so have it. I usually just like to set this to the same color as the sky. Cloud, that is the color of the clouds. So number 1 is red, number 2 is green, number 3 is blue. Same thing for the fog, but there's also a fourth number here. That is the Y position of the clouds. This has to be an integer, no decimals, no fractions. Tier, that is the tier of the rocket that you need to that you need in order to travel. So 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 if it's in the inner solar system, I like to have it set to 1. If it's in the outer solar system, I like to have it set to 2. And if it's in the and if it's outside of the solar system, I like to have it set to 3. But if it's higher than 3, um, and there's only 3 tiers, uh, it uh, it'll set it to 3 automatically, because uh, yeah, a gen cave, that is if you want caves on the planet. Gen ravine, that is if you want ravines on the planet. Crate prob, that is the crater generation frequency. If it's 0, that is disabled. Stone block, that is the ID of the block that you want for the stone. So that is, I think it was stained hardened clay. Yeah, stained hardened clay. Stained underscore hardened. I think that's how you spell it. Clay. And then I want this one to be a specific color. So, excuse me for a second while I get down to that. Okay, brown, that is 12. So, 12. Again, don't put this last colon thing here if your block does not have any um, metadata or variance is what I like to call it. So, this one is the water block. Um, if your if your planet has liquid, then set this to be water if it can support water, because I don't know the IDs for any other liquids if the mod even has it. But if it doesn't have a liquid, don't set this to air, because for some reason your planet will be just like covered in lava. Instead, set this to the same block as the as a stone block. So water block becomes whatever stone block is. Water Y, that is the Y level of the water. And then I'm not sure about it in this one, but I know that in the Cosmic Horizons thing, 0 is disabled. Lander type, I don't know what this does, so don't change it unless you want to find out what it does. But I just leave it at -1 because I don't know what it does. Meteor frequency, that is how often like asteroids fall from the sky, like small asteroids. Fall damage modifier, I'd assume this is um how um how like what the game multiplies the fall damage by in order to calculate how much fall damage it does. Some meteors, that is whether or not it does asteroids or asteroids fall from the sky. That is only in version 1.0.1 and below, and the meteor frequency thing is only in 1.0.2 and above. I prefer to have both of them. Uh, so if it doesn't have an atmosphere, set meteor frequency to greater than 1, and so meteors to true, but if it does have an atmosphere, set both of those to 0 and false respectively. Biomes. So that is the biomes that um, that you made before. So I prefer to duplicate the tab if you can do that. And then just check what your biome has. So this one is brown underscore terracotta. Brown underscore terracotta. And then put a comma after that. If you have multiple biomes, if not, don't put the comma. And then that one is also light gray terracotta. So put light underscore gray underscore terracotta. And then put your biomes in quotation marks. Sun size. Again, I mean, I, I used to know how to find it out, but I just completely forgot. So, uh, so I just look it up with Google's AI again. So, look up if a planet has a semi-major axis of the semi-major axis in AU, and a star has a radius of the radius in suns, and a luminosity of the luminosity in suns, then how large would the sun be from the would the star be? Sorry, from the planet, assuming the sun from Earth is 1. So that would be 0.0253. So 0.0253. Precipitation, that's if your planet has weather. Unreachable, that's so true if your planet has weather, false if it doesn't. For precipitation. For unreachable, you're going to want uh, so if, so if it's true, your player will not be able to visit your planet. If false, your player will be able to visit your planet. Tidally locked, if it's true, the day does not like happen, or the day does not progress. If that makes sense. If it's false, it does. And then press Ctrl S to save your thing. Um, and then the planet code is also in the description. And then I'll also tell you how to make a moon. So the moon code is in the description. So name this as the texture file in the moons folder. That one is Sharon. So last time I did not do moons because I was trying to do moons and they just wouldn't show up for some reason. But for this one, but now I know how to get the moons to show up. So parent planet. That is the file name of the planet that you want your moon to orbit. Parent planet Pluto, in this case. Orbit data. So size. That is your moon's radius in suns. So Sharon. I prefer to just look it up on Wikipedia again. So it gives it to me in Earths in this case. So paste, copy. So paste the radius in whatever unit you have into the whatever unit you have thing, and then copy it in solar radius, in the solar radius thing. And dang, that's tiny. But I'm gonna want to paste that. Apparently there is a minimum radius, because I learned that out the hard, because I found that out the hard way, because I was trying to, because apparently the thing that I was using was a bit too small, so it just looked the same size as the planet, and it was really weird. But yeah, distance from center. For this one, I prefer to do that in thousands of kilometers. So this one can be, so this one can be 19 point, so thousands, that is. So for example, Sharon would be 19.595764, because it's 19,595.764 kilometers away from Pluto, the semi-major axis. That's on average. Relative time, that is the orbital period in days, and paste that. Eccentricity x, that is its eccentricity plus 1, and then eccentricity y, add one, just 1.0. Gravity. So use that gravity calculator I mentioned before, but 0.288 meters per second. Put that thing in, put the surface gravity in that, assuming 0.058 is Earth's gravity and 0.08 is zero gravity. What would the surface gravity in, or just whatever surface gravity thing you have, be? So there we go. That is um uh um that does no hold on. It usually doesn't do this. Hold on. Meters to centimeters, because I don't know how to do that stuff. 28 centimeters. There we go. This took a little bit. 0.07935 in this case. So, what was it? 0.07935. 0.07935. Okay, atmosphere pressure. That's atmosphere pressure of your planet and Earth atmospheres. This can only be an integer, no decimals, no fractions. I already told you how to do Venus if you want to do Venus for whatever reason. Temperature, that is your moon's temperature in hundreds of Celsius. So negative 220 Celsius in this case. So negative 2.2 Celsius. Temperature change modifier during the day. So 0.5 is by 50%. 1.0 is by 100% or double. And 2.0 is by 200% or I'd assume triple? I'm not sure. Wind, I don't know what this does, but I do 0.1 for Venus-like atmospheres. Because you can't really feel it all too much. 0.25 for Earth atmospheres, or Earth-like atmospheres, and 0.0 for no atmosphere, in the case of Sharon, because, well, there's no wind and no atmosphere. Day length, that is the, oh, it's synchronous for Sharon. So that is the, the orbital period in this case. But if it's not synchronous, just do the rotation period in Earth days, multiply that by 24,000, not 240,000, 24,000. And then you're gonna wanna copy that. Um, then you're gonna paste that. Get rid of the comma. No decimals. No fractions. Breathable. That's if your player can breathe. So again, roughly 0.21, or roughly 21% oxygen. Uh, Solar radiation. That is, uh, that's basically whether or not it has an atmosphere. So true if it doesn't have an atmosphere, false if it doesn't have an atmosphere, and for breathable, false if your player cannot breathe, true if they can breathe. Corrosive atmosphere, that's basically if it destroys your suit, or Venus-like atmosphere, so false if it doesn't destroy your suit, or if it doesn't have a Venus-like atmosphere, pretty much. True if it does. Sun brightness, um, just do whatever the. Okay. So if a planet has a 700 axis of the average distance AU, and the star has the radius of solar radius suns, and the luminosity of solar luminosity suns, then how bright would the planet be, assuming the Earth is 0.5? Um, that would be 0.0032 in this case. So that is the parent planet. Point triple O 32, and then point triple O 31. For the star brightness, that's basically how bright the night is. Sky, again, red, green, blue value. Fog, again, red, green, blue value. Cloud, again, red, green, blue value, but also Y position after blue. Light, that is the color of the light on your moon. And so the first number is the red value. The second number is the green value, and the third number is the blue value. World data, the tier 2, if it is. One, if the moon is in the inner solar system, 2, if the moon is in the outer solar system, and 3, if the moon is outside of the solar system. Gen cave, that is if you want caves on your planet, so true if you do, false if you don't. Gen ravine, that is if you want ravines on your planet, so true if you do, false if you don't. Crate prob, that's the crater generation frequency. 0 if you don't want craters. For the stone block, that's basically if it's, so that's basically the stone block in the overworld is stone, duh. Um, so in this case, this one does not have any variance, it's just stone. So I put it Minecraft stone in this case. Water block, if it doesn't have a liquid, just put the same block as the stone block and set water Y to 0. Lander type, I don't know what this does, so just keep it at -1. Meteor frequency, that's the frequency of the meteors. 0 if you don't want the, or just like asteroids falling from the sky. 0 if you don't want those. Fall damage modifier, that is the modifier of the fall damage. Throw meteors, that is if you want asteroids falling from the sky. So false if you don't, true if you do. So throw meteors is only for 1.0.1 and below. Meteor frequency is only for 1.0.2 and above. Um, Fuel usage modifier, I just do it in 0.0 because I don't really like it when you use your fuel because then you can't get back. Biomes, use the biomes that you made in your biomes folder. I already have a stone biome, where the ground is just stone. But here that is. If you want to see it, you can pause it because I'm getting rid of it now. Um, and then I should probably save it. Sun size. That's the same as for the planet. It's orbiting. I won't explain this again because I'm pretty hungry. Uh, but uh, just do this. 0.0253 in this case. 0.0253. Precipitation, that's if you want weather. True if you do, false if you don't. Unreachable, that's if you want a player to be able to land there. True if you do, false if you don't. Tidally locked, that's if you want the daylight cycle. True if you do, false if you don't. So, that should be everything. So, if you've done everything correctly, and if you haven't, the game will let you know by kindly crashing. That is, that's pretty annoying, but it does that for some reason. But it looks like I have. Usually, if you haven't, it'll crash um, at the top stage 2 once it loads the Star Maker mod. And I'm on number, and it finished loading right now. So ignore the music. I have no control over this. But make a new world. Uh, I call it test 14 because it's the 14th test for this mod pack or whatever. Um, so, um, so, so first up, to check if your textures are all working, press M on your keyboard. Oh, wait, that explains, or that could explain why it didn't crash earlier. If I did do something wrong, but make sure your pack thing is compressed to a zip folder. So, so right click on your assets folder, uh, hover over compress to, click on zip file, or just call it test, and then put underscore celestial pack, that is underscore CELESTIAL PACK, at the end of the mod or add-on or whatever name. Um, and then your thing should actually be loading now. Is the mod. Actually, you know what? Um, okay. So here is the um, here's the there's the lang thing. In the lang folder, you want ENUS for American English. Whoop. So if you want to make a planet or dwarf planet, uh, first planet. dot the file name of your planet, so mine is Pluto, and then we have the name of your planet in game. And then I also put Earth in there, and then dot Earth, Earth, not, not, old. And then for Moon, you want Moon dot the file name of your moon. Uh, so moon dot Sharon equals Sharon. And then for solar system, we have uh, so say I want to do the solar system, I would do solar system dot sol equals solar system. So here's an example. Solar system dot sol equals solar system. But that's just an example, right? Yeah, that looks good. Um, was Sharon working at least? Is Sharon working at least? Test underscore celestial pack. Copy that. Paste. Is Sharon working at least? Hopefully it is. Test 25, but this one is for Sharon, not Pluto. Because if it is working, um, I'll just then I'll just copy and paste it over from Sharon's code thing, and then edit that for Pluto. Come on, come on, do it, do it. Hey, there we go. Pluto, Sharon, launch. Nope. What the hell? So, does Pluto work if it's in another solar system? Basically, is what I'm asking. Uh, test 29. Hopefully, it does work. Cause then I would know that I wouldn't be able to make my own custom solar system planets. Which is fine, because, like, there's a mod that adds that. But if it doesn't work, then I'll just like try doing it so it does work on my end. Um, rocket, tier 3 rocket. Oh, missed a spot. There we go. Come on, do it. Do it. Hey, there we go. It takes a couple tries. I don't know why. Oh, doesn't have a parachute or something. Like, I don't have a parachute. That's better. Hopefully Pluto works now. I put it in the K218 system. Now, does it work? Yes, it does. So, it does not look like I can modify the solar system at all. That's interesting. So it doesn't look like you can like modify the solar system at all. But dang, bro, Pluto's dark. Uh, I had no idea that it would actually be this dark in real life. Dang, that's yeah, look how dark it is. Look how dark it is, man. But yeah. Um, I can't even jump. How is Pluto's gravity so low? I can't, I can't even jump here. Dang, bro, Pluto sucks. Uh, but yeah. For some reason you can't modify the solar system. I can't even go upstairs. How about a ladder? Yeah. Oh, and okay. Well, Pluto sucks. Uh, yeah, Pluto freaking sucks. Um, but yeah, I guess that's why it was crashing all those times before. I guess you just can't modify the solar system. Weird. Okay, well, um, but what I want to know is Sharon work because Pluto was crashing because it was existing in the solar system. So does Sharon work? Pluto was just crashing the game just for existing. Ima- Imagine your existence being so awful that even the universe dies when people try to visit you. That would suck. K218 Pluto Sharon launch. Hey, yep. I I guess I guess the god in this Minecraft thing hates Pluto for some reason. And like everything about it, including its moons. That sucks. But apparently if Pluto was just like in another solar system and really far away from Earth, uh I I guess I would make things better for God. Or whatever. Okay, anyway. Here's Sharon. And I think look how slow I'm going. Look at my arms. look at my arms and legs. The gravity's so low that it's hard for the gravity is so low here that's even slowing the player animations down. Oh, and the leaves are purple. Weird. Oh, and also apparently I can't even step up here. That's how hard of a time my player is having to move. Well, I guess if you want to play this in survival mode, don't go to Pluto or Sharon. You literally will not be able to escape. Well, I guess if you do, like, if you take off your suit or something, like, people probably think you died because it's so cold there. Oh, well, God himself is smiling at you. Okay, anyway, yeah, so I, uh, so I guess, you can't really, like, change the solar system, but you can add your own stuff and basically play God here. And also, it did, like, um, it did have the namespace in there, so, um, so you could also, I mean, you don't have to do this if you don't want to, but, but you could, make your own stuff in M Creator and, like, your own blocks and stuff, and, um, um, and then just, like, add your own, like, planets with your own, like, modded stuff. So that's pretty cool. Um, okay. Um, well, that's it from me. Bye guys. Gotta edit this, like, maybe 2 hour long video. Bye. Yeah, it's like 2 hours long. Dang, bro. Bye.